What's a methylated vitamin?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Can I draw on the board?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. So today we're talking about what is methylation. It's a very common topic in the news. There's some pretty famous people who got famous talking about it, and for good reason. So let's get into it. So the first most important concept is your body has to absorb everything that it uses. And if your body can't absorb something, it doesn't do anything. So methylation basically is a fancy word for a biological mechanism that enhances the absorption. So let's talk about an example. So we're gonna draw our standard 6-membered carbon ring. Almost everything in your body has one of these in it, DNA, proteins, everything. What methylation is, oddly enough, is we just add a line right here. And what this line represents is a carbon with 3 hydrogens on it. So we could draw C, an H, an H, and an H. That's it. However, this little group right here is essential for a lot of your biology. So imagine giving a handshake or imagine a lock and key. If your hand doesn't go in the right spot or if the key doesn't go in the right spot, it doesn't work. It gives you one little part of the key or one little part of the handshake that determines whether it works or not. Methylation is the same thing. If you don't have this little group here, your body doesn't recognize it, it isn't binding properly, it doesn't absorb. If it doesn't absorb, it doesn't do anything. So if we're talking about getting benefits and improvements, methylation is often necessary for that. There's also been a lot of evidence to show that there's 5 major genes in our body that can methylate things. So our body understands that everything's methylated, and so it has a process to add methylation. But what they've shown through large studies at this point is something like 15 to 40% of all people in the United States lack the genes to methylate the nutrients. So if you're one of those people, you cannot absorb many of the vitamins and nutrients in your diet because your body can't methylate them, which is why more and more we're talking about methylated vitamins, because for those people who don't have that ability, without methylated vitamins, you will not get that. And there's strong evidence to suggest that a lot of major health conditions either caused, due to, or can be fixed by adding methylated vitamins into your diet. Thorne is one of the companies we always recommend, and this is a great example of why they stand out. All of their B vitamins are methylated, oftentimes in the top 5 or top 10 products. A lot of those multivitamins don't have methylated B vitamins. Just to give you an example of what makes Thorne unique. And again, today we're talking about what is methylation, why it matters, and why you should always check the label to see if it's in there. Another question we get is if you are one of those people that does have the proper methylated genes in your body, should you still take methylated B vitamins? The answer is definitely yes. So first of all, there's never going to be any risk of harm because your body's going to do it anyways. And the second example is you may not be able to methylate everything that comes into your body. And typically because things like B vitamins are so commonly used in your body, you want to have more of them. So taking methylated B vitamins in combination with your own body's processes typically will elicit better responses. Another important thing to be mindful of is all the B vitamins, which we're talking about typically with methylation, are water soluble, which means that if they're in excess, you just basically urinate them out. So there's really no risk of excess or toxic levels of B vitamins, which is why even if you do have the methylated genes in your body, taking methylated B vitamins is still beneficial.